Hey you guys, welcome back. A to Z haircutting again. Remember, we're simple. We're not here to be all, we want to teach you about haircutting. I don't mind showing you cuts. I don't mind showing you, specifics as far as results as to why. I wish we had a better setup so we could, I wish I had my husband is my cameraman and he's the best. So, that just kind of goes with that. But I want to teach you about haircutting. I just don't want to do a cut for you and then have you walk away and never knowing the possibilities as to, okay, why did this work on this person, why not on the other? My recommendation is, one, look at our intro. It gives all the terms that we use when we're haircutting. This is how I teach. I teach cosmetology. This is how I teach my students. I'm going to tell you something. 100% of my students can do a perfect flat top when they leave my class and they understand what they're doing. Their area of learning after that is the different types of hair growth, the direction of growth, and the different types of hair. That's it. They know how to cut. They just need to know the different areas and different types of hair. This is what I'm trying to teach you. I'm teaching you exactly the same way I teach them. Go to the intro. The next thing, diagram. For God's sake, write the directions down. Pause me. Write it down. Did I see what she did? Did I understand what she said? So make sure that you pause and get the information that you need for hair cutting. We've got just a couple more haircuts and we're going to swing into clipper cutting, and we go very detailed in clipper cutting. Remember, the longer cuts, you can hide your mistakes. You can kind of hide your little errors through styling or, we've talked in the past. As a matter of fact, I was watching, don't do that to your client. I was watching film the other day. They had a slight A-line, and guess what? I could see the little corners here. Someone did not take those corners off. So like I said, the corners are off the nape line. And when she would turn her head, I could see the little corners. So those are details that I'm teaching you to look for so that you can do better in your hair cutting. So we just did a particular cut. We're getting ready to get into what's called we've done the 180, the 90-degree cut, or it's called a uniform layer. When you see somebody you've seen the cartoons on these people that have they've gotten shocked by electricity and all their hair stands out. Okay, that means that every hair on their head is the same length. It means it's uniformly layered or 90 degree from where it grows. There's, again, things that could happen when you're doing that haircut. And what I'm going to do on this, I'm using our mannequin that we did our A-line on. On one side, I'm going to do what you shouldn't do, and on the other side, I'm going to show you how to do it so it doesn't happen. That's why I'm using this one with the A-line, because you can definitely see that straight line down there. So a uniform layered is an extreme choppy layered haircut. Looks fantastic, especially on longer hair. Shorter hair, it's just a short haircut. That's it. It's all one length, just a short haircut. They clean around the ears, clean at the nape, and move forward from there. But let's talk about the haircuts that we just did. The single spot layered haircut, front, top, and crown. So we brought everything forward, remember? Oh, hang on a minute. All right. We brought everything forward. This is also used for face framing. I gave you a little indication about bang trims on, going horizontal or going vertical, what you get out of it. Then we went to the apex. We did it horizontal to the perimeter line, in other words, side to side, or vertical to the perimeter line, center frontal to the vertex. So go to the introduction if you don't understand that, because that describes, and see, the point in teaching it in this form, I can tell you, and we're both speaking the same language. If I would have said, I cut it from here to here, and then I held it straight up, you and I could have a here to here, and I could have a here to here. Here means nothing, but perimeter line, center frontal means something. Perimeter line, vertex, center vertex at the parietal line means something. It's an exact location. All right, so this is why I teach you this way. So what we did, we just took the frontal area, we brought it straight up from the last haircut, vertical and horizontal. Took it up at the apex, same thing, but we brought it to a point, and then we did vertical and horizontal. What did you learn on those two things, especially at the apex and the frontal area? That if we do it side to side to the perimeter line, that's horizontal to the perimeter line. So what happens is it stays back. All right? This doesn't stay back. On my other mannequin off to the side there, we did it side to side, so her hair stays back. However, again, just above the parietal line, on the top, when you do it side to side, you're going to do it vertically on the sides, so you get more movement. When we're doing it side to side, above the parietal line, we create hard lines throughout, going back, still yet. So that's where a hard line has more control and makes the hair lay. However, covering those straight lines across is where the problem lies. So the big factors in that, that's the geometry in it, that's the architecture in it. So anyways, the thing about that though is if we get a lot of movement with the side to side, where if on the vertical there's less movement, all right? I mean more movement, sorry, go backwards. Okay, so vertical is more movement, horizontal below the parietal line, less movement, cups under. All right, keep that on your notes, please. All right, so then what we did, we went to the crown, did the same thing. Did it horizontal, did it vertical. Vertical, we got more movement. Horizontal, it lays down a little bit more control. So that was at the vertex line, took everything up to the vertex. In other words, the center crown, just below the parietal line is the vertex. Place your comb there, where the hair leaves, where the scalp leaves the comb. That's where the vertex is at, right at the parietal line. Exact position, just like your appendix, 4 inches away to the right of your navel. All right, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to quickly do these cuts one more time. I'm just going to slightly go over it, because what we're going to do today is we're going to get started on our 90-degree cut. But I'm showing you an easy way to do it. 99% of the teachers, 99% of the classes that teach this cut start from the center, do a center part, go through, and they expect you to learn it, all right? They go through, they do a center part. They cut the hair, take it up, cut it. I'm just kind of messy, I'm just showing you. All right, so they take it, they cut it. This becomes a guide. So you hold it 90 degree from where it grows. This now becomes a guide. Hold it 90 degree. All right, bring that forward, take this as your guide, hold it up at a 90. This again becomes your guide, blah, 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 blah. You can do a perfect uniform layered or 90-degree cut by first doing a 0, which that was the first cut we did. The next cut you're going to do, whether you do it front to back or side to side, doesn't matter, is the 180. When hair travels, it does what? I've said it many times. When hair travels, it does what? Gets longer. So the hair along the flat part of the head, first you held it down, cut it straight across. Then this hair traveled straight up, we cut it straight across. And you knew it was flat because we put her upside down to show you that it was flat. What happens is now we have created a corner along just below the parietal line, along all the way around, center occipital, flat part of the head. So what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to do those cuts that we just did. I'm going to have you watch. I'm going to kind of go over them again. I am going to do them front to back just to make it quick. I can do it side to side if I want to, and then do the parietal line. We're staying above the parietal line as we do it. We are using our secondary position. We are going to be traveling around the head in the direction of the head form, in other words. So I'm going to subsection out my pie shape, And everything is going to come to the center. All right, so I'm sectioning out my pie shaping here. So you can see that's the frontal area. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to drop this. Now at the apex, the area above the upper ridge. Just above the upper ridge. I've got this as my guide. I'm bringing everything to the center. Just for convenience sake, and you'll understand why in just a minute. I'm going to drop that. Now I'm going to pick up the hair at the crown and elevate it straight up just above the parietal line. I'm not taking it below the parietal line. All right, so being that I know where that's at, I'm not too concerned about it. But you see that I've traveled around the head form. So what this has done, if I would have brought all that hair up, it would still travel. But what happens here, and this is how you do your uniform layer, and you can get it perfect. I'm going to take it, do a complete vertical cut, and that hair at the parietal line, right there, that shortest point, there's one right there, see it? That's my guide. This hair has traveled in this direction, now it's traveling in this direction. And it's going to be held straight out. And I'm going to travel around the head form. The shortest point, you can see that this is shorter here. So do you see where this hair has traveled up and down? Because the hair at the perimeter line along that, by the ear, the true temporal area, is shorter. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the next one. I'm done with that. Again, the hair at the parietal line is my guide. And you can see, again, this is shorter. I have a corner. That's all I'm getting rid of. So once I get to the area behind the ear, you still see that corner, longer, short, and short. All I'm doing is removing that corner. I'm going to turn it. Now on this side, I'm taking it all the way to the perimeter line, all right? I'm just getting behind the ear, pulling that straight up. I'm directing that hair up to that. That area behind the ear is traveling up to it. There it is. And I'm holding it straight out from where it grows. So I'm traveling around the head form in this order. The comb is traveling around it. I'm not bringing it over. I'm holding it straight out from where it grows, but within that flat area below the parietal line, center section of the temporal area. Okay, I know that this hair is not going to travel all the way up. It's going to be too short, but I'm still traveling around the head form. I can see the short hair there. Short, short. Again. And I told you I'm going to show you both ways to do this. Because what will happen, because of the perimeter line, I want you to notice something. Do you see that? Do you see where the hair, longer at the temporal area, goes around the ear, and now we have this little bit of a gap right there. Travels up instead of down. Do you see that? Comb it down so you can see it a little better. To make sure I got that corner. Got a little bit there. But you can see that this is longer, this is a little shorter, this is longer. Now the hair does travel shorter going back, so you got to really focus on this area here. This was all the way, if it was a true bob as opposed to an A-line, you'd be able to see it a little bit more clear, but you can definitely see where this goes up. There's a break right there. What you need to do to avoid that, because what will happen if you do this on really short hair, you're going to have a mullet. The perimeter line, if you're pulling this hair out to be the exact length as this hair at the parietal line, excuse me, at the parietal line, what ends up happening when it drops, it gains this line. So what you need to do when you're cutting somebody's hair, because believe me, you will have a very, very unhappy person because you've just given them a mullet. Now, do you see the line here? You're going to section that off about an inch. You're not going to take it all the way down. You're going to stay about an inch above the ear, above the perimeter line in this area. Extremely important before you come back here to the back of the ear. This is the highest point. The hair travels from the temporal area up above the ear. Look at your own hair. Travels down here. This is the geometry factor behind this. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm not bringing it all the way out. All right. I'm going to leave that down. And you'll see that that line will now stay. I'm traveling back a little bit. I'm holding it from where it grows, but I want to make sure that you see this. Now, we still have that line. We still have that nice, hard line traveling around, as opposed to this line that's broken up. So you would leave that out. It's extremely important when you're doing the uniform layer. Especially if the hair is to the shoulders, you're going to feel, why is it shorter? How did you get it shorter there? You know, you're going to find this little corner up at the front. And that's where you've got to be careful. The reason that's there is because of that perimeter line, and you held it straight out. Remember, it's not different than when we do the back. When you take it to one location, it's going to leave evidence. This is the evidence of the area behind the ear. So you have to be careful about that. So I'm going to go ahead and travel. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. And so you can see that this is not pretend. I'm going to take it off, and you'll see that break up as well. It is right there. Okay, now we're to the back, so we're good. But see, there it is. We took it off again. So it breaks it up. That's the area above the ear. So you always leave, to make a note of this as you're diagramming, and I'll post it for you. Oh, there it is. So this is the uniform layer. Made easy. This is the easiest and most exact way to get it. Uniform layer. So, keep in mind, this is why you diagram. You want to subsection off, especially around the ear. You're going to be okay in the back. It's this area here that causes the mullet. So we want to keep this long. All right? You may want to, depending, section off the nape line as well. Remember, that inverts in. That's going to make a difference. So these are areas of concern with this cut. Otherwise, everything is held straight out from where it grows. From where it grows. And that's what you have to, like when I teach my students and I'm watching them cut, many times I'll see them start taking it at an angle, start bringing it over in this direction. I'll say, now is that straight out from where it grows, or are you moving it? Remember, we looked at straight lines going down, straight lines going up. Now we're looking at straight lines from the head form going out. So this is very exact. That's why it's so important, students, or you guys, that's why it's so important that you know where you're at and know where you're going. So I'm going to go back over to the center nape, occipital, I'm sorry. There, that's a perfect corner there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I mean, that is just like so perfect. And that's exactly what you want to take off. And I'm staying just below the parietal line. Got it all? I believe so. Let me make sure. So I'm traveling around again. All right, what I want to show you is, okay, we've taken it out at the tip. We took it straight up, took it off at the flat part of the head. Now, can you guess which part of the head form right now, where in the head form did it travel to create another corner? Can you look at it? Now, where did it travel to create another corner? The parietal line. There's two spots. At this point, you're not going to see it so much in this mannequin because we did an A-line, but your other spot would be the nape. The nape is traveled down and traveled up. That's why we break it down into all of these sections. Many people call this the curve of the head or the rim. It's not enough information. You've got to have the parietal line. Where does it end? Where does it end? Lower ridge, upper ridge, and then the apex. So this is what I want you to see. I'm at the parietal line. There's our corner. I mean, it could not be more perfect. Let me get a white, something white back here. I hope you can see it. That's one of my diagrams, but you see that corner. And what I'm going to do now, we call it riding, or I call it ride the parietal line. You ask another stylist, did you ride the parietal line? They're going to say, what are you talking about? Unless they've had my hair cutting class, they do not know anything about riding the parietal line, another corner. All right, let me get this corner. And again, we're traveling back. I want you to see it and following that parietal line the entire time. As we come into the occipital area, you're going to find that the corner is not as extreme. It has always fascinated me that that corner is just a baby corner when we get here. And I think it's because the head is definitely rounded here. Flat on the sides, rounded in the back. All right, so let me take this side now. We're going to ride this parietal line, pick that hair up, take that corner off, and you can see that this is going to create a whole lot of layers. There's definitely a corner. And it creates active layers too. That's what makes it nice. But we do have this, of course, mullet effect. I'm going to go ahead and travel up here. And I want to show you another thing. This area here, this corner here is going to definitely reflect. Do you see that? Definitely reflects out because it traveled this way, traveled the other way. So we want to clean that up and make this a uniform layered haircut. You can see all those nice little choppy layers that are happening. Again, picking it up where we need to pick it up. You can see the volume that you get, the movement that you get, and that's because, of course, we're cutting it vertically. You don't want to cut it horizontally. If you cut it horizontally, you almost need to elevate it up, or you will definitely end up with a really hard line. All that here will end up in one spot, and it becomes a really heavy, heavy line. Let me get this corner now. That corner is, let me turn her around so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, here we are. Yep, not as bad as the other side, but it's definitely there. All right, so what I want to show you after this cut is I can pick it up now, and it's the same length everywhere. It ends up looking the same everywhere. And let's just hope that I did it right, because now you're not going to do this to your client, but if I did it right, this is going to follow the head form. Do you see that upside down question mark? It will follow the head form because everything was initially done 90 degrees or away from where it grows. It's going to be flat on the sides. The sides are flat. So this is part of your geometry. But do you see all those layers that it creates? It really creates nice choppy layers. We can't hardly even see our A-line anymore, but it definitely creates this real nice, real choppy layered look. All right? So this is a great haircut to do. This is the easiest way to do it. 0, 180 above the parietal line, And then you're going to get rid of the corner. Once you get rid of the corner, then you're going to ride your parietal line. Remember, front to back, or back to front. The reason for that is if you start going around, you can see it even with my hands, you're going to push and then you're going to pull. So when you're pushing, you're likely to go shorter. You can see that my hands are closer. I'm pulling. Look at my hands move further away. So that's the why I'm doing it side to center back, or center back to side. So those are your whys in there, but you can see that it lays nice. We've still got some nice length along the bang area. It's very, very choppy. A lot of people really like this cut. Works on any type of hair, long hair. The only thing I wouldn't use it on possibly would be curly hair, because look at the volume you get. They've already got volume. You don't need that. Curly hair should really be cut dry. I'm going to do one class on how curly hair grows, how wavy hair grows, and how straight hair grows, and maybe proper care on all of them. I mean, people want to sell products, so they're going to sell you all this stuff. But if you understand hair structure, also with you guys possibly with, you know, we're in the coronavirus era right now, and with you guys possibly coloring your own hair, doing your own stuff, it makes it just a little bit more difficult for everybody. So I hope that you got information. Make sure that you get this uniform layered haircut, made easy, straight out from the head form. 0, 180, flat, travel around it, front to back, ride the parietal line. If you don't have an A-line, check the nape, because you're going to find a corner and you know exactly where that nape line is at. You would travel from behind the ear to center nape, behind the ear on the other side to center nape, because this is an A-line. We don't really see that corner very much there. Thank you very much. I hope that you guys are learning stuff. Next haircut, we're going to start doing learning how to taper. So if you don't have clippers, I don't know if you can get them at Sally's anymore because they seemed empty, but good luck, take care, God bless, see you again.